Well, looks like it's time to go, so let's go. Hello! I am running behind as usual. I mean, I'm not running behind. I'm on time, but man, every stream it just feels like it is like what am I trying to say? I feel vastly underprepared for every stream. It always feels like I'm rushing the last minute. I'm just clearing out a mixing cup because I didn't have one clear. I didn't have one clean. That's the sort of stuff that I mean. I have grabbed a bunch of stuff. We're going to be working on 3 different commissions today. So, I did grab a bunch of stuff for those. But I do have some more stuff to grab still. I do need a mixing cup. It'd be nice to have one. I can get it out of the way. And I can go through all the different dice we're going to be making. But let me clean this off first. Anyways, I think I am liking so it's noon for me, but the noon time slot for streaming, because I used to stream on Saturdays at 7 p.m. But doing it earlier is honestly not bad. I used to do it. Well, I still do Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for me, so in the evenings. And part of that is just because then I don't have to do anything afterwards. Usually, sometimes I end up doing stuff afterwards, but I don't have to do anything afterwards. So I can just kind of plan for that to be the last thing in the day. But at the same time, it kind of works with it being the first thing in the day, because it means I don't have to try and get things done before I have to go stream. I can go stream for as long as I stream for, and then I have, I know how much time I have left in the day, sort of thing. Oh, there's a kitty cat out there. I hear a kitty cat. I think that's a Luna. Should we have a kitty cat come say hi? I don't have anything super dangerous like Resin out yet. Yeah. I'm gonna go grab a kitty cat. We can get some kitty cat airtime. Set these over here. Out of the way. Alright, come here, kitty cat. Come here. Come here. Come here. No, I'm not following you. You want to come say hi? Come here. No, okay. She doesn't actually want in. She just wants me to go follow her, it looks like. I don't know why my cats do that, but they do. That's not an uncommon occurrence. Alright, so what we're going to be working on today. I have 3 different commissions, like I mentioned, that we're going to be doing. The first of them, put that over there for now too. Maybe if I can. Alright. 3 different ones. So we have a 7-piece set that is going to have kind of like a hot pink and a light blue sort of color scheme. It's based on some album art and a song. And I'm not going to play the song because I don't want to get, copyright struck or anything. But it has kind of a, I don't know, it has kind of a soft sound to it, but also has like a certain amount of like an electronic sound to it, I feel like. That's kind of how I think of the sound of it. It's kind of sad, but the album art is hot pink and light blue. So I wanted to do, because I was told, hey, do these colors, but you have freaking, free reign otherwise. And so I wanted to have kind of a mix of, like in my head, it's kind of a mix of circles and like soft shapes and then like cubes. I don't really have any cubes. So I was thinking maybe some sort of like white glitter. I don't really have, I have like chunky, like a chunky white glitter. I don't really have a chunky white glitter. This is more of a chunky iridescent glitter, if it'll focus. It never wants to focus. There we go. We'll see if it'll find it. but it's more like clear with some shimmer to it, and that's not really what I was going for. I don't think I'm gonna do the pink iridescent stuff because part of what I wanted was the like kind of geometric shape to it. And I'm gonna be doing like pink and blue kind of blobs in like some clear sparkly resin, and then I wanted to do something sort of, sorry, I have something in my eye. I want to do something sort of geometric. I didn't really have any glitter that I thought matched that well. So instead of glitter, I'm going to cut up a piece of paper into some little tiny squares, and we're going to try using that. And we'll see how that looks. I mean, if it ends up not looking, you know, how I want, then I'll go back to the drawing board and make another set of dice, but, you know, it's kind of fun to experiment with random things anyways. Oh man, what do I have in my eye? You can still hear the cat out there just screaming. The next set of dice is going to be a set of fate dice, or fudge dice, whichever you want to call them. They're the ones with the pluses and minuses on them. In this set, I made some little eyeballs. I'm actually really happy with these. Look at these eyeballs that I made. Some like golden eyes. And these are going to go into these dice with some green resin and some gold foil. Actually, I think I want to take a photo of these before I put them in the dice, because I really like how these eyes turned out. Wait a second, I'm going to take a photo of these. Okay. Make sure that worked. Cool. Alright, now I have a photo of those. So we have these eyes, and they're going to go into these dice with some green resin and some gold foil. And then the last set we're going to work on today is one of those sets where all of the dice is different. Every single die has some sort of different color or design to it. And it's going to be based on, you know, I just realized that I've done a couple of Disney movies dice sets recently. This one's going to be based on Beauty and the Beast. And so the D20 is going to have a rose in it. And I actually had to pull my roses down and find one that's going to fit well. So let's pull my thing of roses out. There's those. And I don't think I need the pink ones. We want to go red. I'm pretty sure it's red in the movie. So we're going to go with that. And I actually want a flower petal out as well, because I'm going to put that in the D4. Probably one of these open ones, I would think. Let's see what we've got. And this is from a bunch of dried flowers that I just got in a mix. I just ordered on Amazon. So we're just going on the D20, so we could do something a little bit bigger. That's what we've got. Oh, but see, like something like that. It's a little bit small, but you know, it kind of looks good. And this one, I don't know if that looks very rose-ish. What have we got? I'm wondering if I have any big rose buds. Nothing big enough for the D20, I don't think. So we'll do one of these. Try to find one that's not super smashed or anything. Ooh, maybe this one. This one it's a little bit flattened, but it definitely looks like a rose. So maybe that one. You know, I want one that has all of the good kind of leaves around it and all that sort of stuff. Well, I think that's probably good. Use that one, I think. And we don't need the rose buds, but I do want a rose petal. I'm actually going to grab two, because I used to do a bonus D4 and a bonus keychain with every order, but now I'm doing a bonus crystal shaped D4 and a bonus D2, and I'm I have some plans on how some of that stuff might change at some point, but these smell really good. Let's see here. For the time being, that's, you know, what I'm doing, and you know, sometimes I'll put all of like the extra resin from all of the different dice and stuff into them, but in this case I might just do the same design for both D4s. So I'm going to grab a rose petal for both of them. I just want to find one that's kind of like the right color and everything. Hopefully this is recognizable as a rose petal. Alright, put those together up here. This could maybe use a slightly larger one. Okay, there we go. There's our rose petals all picked out. Let me set these up and away, up and away. And the D2 will probably end up being like all of the extra resin from things put into one. Yeah, my eventual plan is to update the listing to make it an 8-piece set to include the D2. And then probably go back to including a keychain and an extra D4. But that's going to be after I get a couple of examples with D2s. Alright, so the D20 is going to have a rose and a little bit of shimmer to it, if I remember correctly. Should pull out my notes and grab my notes. I have everything written down in my calendar. Yep. Clear with a little bit of sparkle in the rose. The D12 is going to be kind of a stained glass look. I have some dice I've done in the past that have kind of the primary colors now kind of swirl together a little bit. And that, I think, works pretty well for a stained glass look. I have all my primaries here, my nice bright primary colors. The first D10 is going to be nice, rich, sparkly gold. Got a couple of options on what gold we want to use. I have like a go-to, but let's see what we've got. Actually, yeah, I think that might be good. Alternatively, I could do kind of a swirl of this, and where did that other one go? There's a, here it is. This is an interference gold, and it's kind of white, and then if the light hits it at the right angle, it's gold. And so like that could add a little bit of interest, I feel like. But I do like the brilliant gold as one of the colors. So let's grab that out. If I can grab it out of my little thing here. I think this is the brilliant gold, not the sparkle gold. I want this one. Yeah, that's the one I want. And it's just kind of, it's a nice rich kind of yellowish gold. This is supposed to kind of match Belle's dress. So I feel like the kind of more yellowy gold will be good for that. And maybe I'll do some interference gold. I'm not 100% sold on doing the interference gold yet. But I feel like it would look nice, but I don't want to, you know, mess anything up. I could also add some gold glitter, but I don't know that the gold glitter I have would match the golds that I just grabbed. Yeah, see, it's kind of, it's not quite as yellow. This was a little bit more muted, maybe. What about this one? Yeah, that's not quite the same shade. Yeah, not quite. It'd probably look okay since I'm doing a couple of different golds, but I don't know. I mean, alternatively, I could do some sort of more sparkly gold instead of a more yellow gold. I like this one, though. I think this one's going to be good. I think we'll do it with a little bit of the interference gold. Could add some gold glitter. Oh, hi, Incredible. How you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm streaming at a different time, which means you can probably make it. I'm working on a bunch of commissions and deciding what colors I want to do at the moment. Oh, I think I'm just going to do those two. This one is supposed to be a nice brilliant blue, and I was kind of thinking I would use this royal blue, but maybe add a little bit of white to it. What kind of dice? I'm doing a couple of 7-piece sets, and then I have one set of fate dice, which is the ones with the pluses and the minuses on them. But this set's going to be based on Beauty and the Beast. And then this one's going to be like hot pink and light blue over here, which should be fun. And it's based on some like album art and a song that someone sent me that they wanted dice based on. And then these ones, I'm so happy with these little eyeballs that I made. Look at these little eyeballs that I made out of, they're just polymer clay and paint and a little bit of resin. But I'm really happy with how these eyes turned out. What are you up to? Doing anything fun? It's been a while, so I gotta see if there's anything new going on with you. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do, oh, but the phthalo blue might be really pretty for this. Ooh. Oh, boo! I'm amazing. Yeah. I think that this phthalo blue might be the perfect blue color, though. We're gonna go with that instead. I'm just gonna go, I think, solid phthalo blue. I really like the phthalo blue. It's kind of, like, it almost looks more blue on camera. Everything seems to look a little bit more blue on camera, but it's got, like, maybe a little bit more purple to it. It's like a slightly... Oh, you got engaged! Oh! Oh, that's very sweet. Hi, Spacefly. Oh, thank you. That's very exciting. Congratulations. Yeah, that's very exciting. But this is the phthalo blue versus like a kind of cooler blue. It's just kind of like warmer, I think. I really like it. So we're gonna go with that. D8, light blue and white with torn book pages. I have. Also, how are you doing, Spacefly? Glad you could make it. Oops, sorry, that's a little bit loud. I have like an old book. It's not actually all that old, but it's a book that's, I ended up with 2 of them, and it's never going to get read anyways, and so it's ended up as a craft project book. Oops, let's not put my pencil in the paint chips container. Ah, there's something. Ah, working from home. Same. Wait, I mean, that's something about the whole pandemic that I'm, kind of interested in, is how much will change and how much will stay the same. Because like being able to work from anywhere really opens up a lot of opportunities for people that maybe couldn't go into the office type thing. So that's exciting, but at the same time, there's like pros and cons to working from home. So I used to work an office job, and then I ended up trying to do this for, not streaming, but making dice and stuff for a living. And there's definitely pros and cons to working from home. One of them is just I can't turn my work brain off, but I've had problems with that anyways. But no, I have I have a book that is not getting used anyways, and it turned into kind of my craft book. And so this is just going to get kind of torn up into some pieces and put into the D8 here. And then that's going to be with some light blue and some white. And I have my white over here, and this one will probably use this blue. Try to make a nice light blue. Let's see, that's the D8. So we'll work on that, getting some good sized pieces. D6 is going to be red and yellow. For Gaston, and we'll probably use this red and yellow, and again I'll probably add some white to it to make it opaque, just because I feel like it's nice to have the mix of like translucent and opaque. And then the D4 is going to be kind of snowy with a rose petal in it, and I'm going to be doing both D4 shapes, and then we have a D2, and that'll just be for any extra resin we end up with. So I think we have our plan there. I think we have our plan all around. I just need to get some things set up now. So for the Beauty and the Beast set, I have this page. Let's see what we can do. Oops. my bookmark is in the wrong spot. Let's move that to the correct week, because we're going to need to open that again, because I'm going to forget what I'm doing, as usual. Well, let's see here. So we're going to put this in the D8. And I don't really want it to be like readable or anything, but I'm wondering if we want to go with like a torn sort of thing. That's way too much. Okay, have fun. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to hear from you. I'm wondering if we should go with kind of a torn thing, maybe? Like, kind of like this. Like like little pieces of book. Or if I should try and cut something out. I kind of like the little torn pieces though, I think, because it almost makes it harder to read, which, like I said, don't need to be able to read this. Maybe we'll just do a few of those, and then those will get kind of like curled up and stuff inside of the die. I think we'll try this. Like I said, if I don't like how it turns out, or if the person that commissioned it doesn't like how it turns out, I'll just make another die. Everyone, you know, you get 2 free repours, so. I'll do that. I think that's gonna be plenty for 1 die. I'll put this back over here, out of the way. It's the rest of the book. And then for the hot pink and light blue set, I was talking about this earlier. I really wanted some sort of like chunky white glitter, but I don't really have any chunky white glitter. That's not like, I wanted like a geometric chunky white glitter. And the closest I have is this sort of iridescent glitter, but it's not really white, it's more clear, which is not really what I wanted. Although I might add a little bit of this anyways. What I really wanted was like squares. And so I'm just going to cut some squares out of some paper, and we're going to try using that. Some little tiny squares. We're basically making confetti. We'll see how that goes. I don't think I'll need too much. I don't really... Actually, I don't think I want to use that, because I think that had a little bit of printer ink on it. I think maybe this might have been a failed print. But I'm gonna cut out a couple of strips and then cut those into little squares. Alright. That's one of the fun things about resin, to be honest, is just experimenting and seeing what you can do. Because you can really put almost anything you want in resin as long as it doesn't have moisture in it. That's the same sort of reason that I liked making soap as well. Oh yeah, this has like a little tiny bit of printer ink on it. You can kind of see it there. So we're not going to use that. So I might do a cold process soap stream at some point, because I do still enjoy making soap. It's just been a long time since I've made it. But that's one of the things that I really liked about cold process soap also, is that you can kind of put whatever you want in it to a certain extent. Like there's a lot of flexibility and there's a lot of like experimenting that's possible. Like you can mess with the designs, you can mess with the materials. It's just, that's what keeps it like interesting. So even once I have like the sort of process down, you know, I know how to pour resin now. You know, I can get a pretty consistent, you know, good pour of resin, but at the same time there's always something new to try. And that just keeps it interesting. I just have to like think of things that I want to try. That's the kind of the hard part. Is either thinking of things that I want to try or having enough foresight to actually set up the stuff that I want to try. Because I have a tendency to, you know, be like, oh, I need to go pour dice, and I haven't done any setup. Although at the same time I have things sitting over here like these where I really need to, I have the first layer poured of a more complex set of dice, and I really need to like do the setup for those. So I did like the first step and then got distracted with other things. We're not going to work on those today either, because I need to get commissions made. This might be enough. So I just want a little bit of kind of geometric texture in there. That's really what this is going to be about. Hopefully it acts as that. There's like a little tiny piece of resin in there, which I don't want. I just want my little squares. Yeah, my ideal would have been like little tiny cubes, but that's a little bit harder to get. Yeah, I don't know about any like cube, like little resin cubes or something. So we're going the square route instead of the cube route. Cube root? No, this would be a route, because the cube root is a math thing. I think some people probably say root instead of route. Man, you know, like accents I always find so interesting. I'm like, because you know, you don't think of like what your own accent is, because everybody has an accent. I have an accent, you have an accent. Everyone has some way of speaking that is built like you have a way of speaking that is native to where you live. And I don't just mean like you speak French or you speak English. I mean that the specific location within those language speaking places, you know, you have a specific way of talking. And so like I'm always curious, like, what's my accent? And I think part of it is maybe like combining words a bit, kind of a loose way of speaking, like dunno, you know, I don't know. That's, you know, although at the same time I don't know if that's just like a more local thing for me, or if it's more of a US thing, although, you know, there's also going to be accent tied to that as well. But yeah, it's part of it. I saw it pointed out once, is that they have a very similar accent in LA, to where I live. And I don't live anywhere near LA, but I do live in the Pacific Northwest, which is, you know, just above California. And so a lot of media has a very similar accent to me. So like I've never really needed to think of, like, I've never thought about having a different American accent, I suppose, because a lot of things that yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point I'm making, is like it's very, very similar, and so a lot of media has the exact same accent that I do, and you do probably. Yeah, I don't know. I find it interesting though. We probably have a very similar accent then too, Spacefly. We're from similar areas. Alright, I think that's probably enough cubes. I don't need... Oh, that's okay. I'm glad you could stop by and say hello though, Mama. But have fun with whatever you're busy with. Hope you're having a good time. Alright. So here's the plan for, okay, we've got our white squares. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of shimmer. Oh, I don't know. Probably a couple hours would be my guess, because I'm doing some setup at the moment, and it always takes me forever. But that's very exciting. I'd love to see photos, like in the Discord and stuff, once you have them out. That's gonna be the blue. Yeah, I watch a lot of stuff when I'm working on arts and crafts, making dice and stuff. But usually, okay, have fun. It's usually like YouTube videos, because I don't have to respond to those. I guess I don't have to respond to streams either, but like, I feel like I should more so than YouTube videos. Maybe I should watch more streams though, because they're usually more long form, and so I could put it on like just one stream instead of having to try and figure out multiple videos while my hands are covered in resiny goop. But a lot of the streams I watch are smaller. Not all of them. I guess there's a few that I watch that are larger. I've gotten into Minecraft recently, as people who've been here before will know. So there's like, okay, not the ones that you're thinking of, but there's some Minecraft YouTubers that I've been watching. So those are maybe slightly larger streams, not huge streams though. I feel like, and then there's like, yeah, I mostly watch arts and crafts streams, although I haven't been in I don't know, I don't watch a ton of streams. I watch more YouTube videos. And part of that is because I watch things while I'm working on other things, and I don't want to have to like try and hold a conversation. I enjoy streaming more than I enjoy watching streams, I guess. But it probably would be good for me to watch more streams, just so that I can see what other people are doing, too. See how I can make my streams better. Alright, that's slightly better. A little bit more space for some pink resin. Alright, there's our container for our hot pink. I'm going to use this one. And let's see, and then, okay, the one for, so I kind of want to have almost two sort of bases for this set. So I'm going to have, are these all down? Yes. I'm going to have it, the idea is going to be, it's kind of shimmery white, or shimmery clear resin, and I'm going to have kind of like tendrils of like hot pink and light blue coming up from the bottom. And then also from the bottom, that's where I want the little like squares and maybe a little bit of like the chunky iridescent glitter to also be coming from. So I want the majority of this thing to be just the clear resin with the shimmer. And then I'm going to add a little tiny bit of clear resin with shimmer with this stuff in it at the very top of the mold. So that it'll look like it's also kind of coming up from the bottom. And it'll be the top, but I'm going to have the lowest numbers on the top, so it'll be coming from the bottom. So I think I need one more container, actually. Well, there we go. We'll use this one. I don't know how much I'll need. I don't think I'll need a ton. I don't think I want enough that all of them have some. I don't think I need all of those little paper cubes, though. Let me think about this. So 30 milliliters is a full thing. Let's see, that's 15 there. So I'm probably only going to do about like 5, maybe milliliters. 5, 10, 20. Yeah, 5, 7.5, somewhere in there. Alright, that's plenty of that. A whole bunch of the iridescent flakes. Put that over there with our little cubes. And then that's going to have kind of our cubes and stuff, and then we'll have a little bit of shimmer in there as well. We'll actually maybe have a slightly more dense shimmer in there, because I want everything to look like it's kind of coming from one location, and have a mix of kind of geometric shapes and really soft shapes. That's the idea anyway. I've got that all set up. Those are all set up. I think I just need to get my ducks in a row here and we'll be good to go. So I think I'll actually end up using this clear with a little bit of shimmer for both these and this, the D20 here. So I just need a little tiny bit of a nice sparkly mica powder. Nice and sparkly. Yeah, for a nice like shimmer without it being overpowering, it really doesn't take a lot. It really does not take a lot. So I'm just gonna dip that and kind of dust it off in here. I'll do a little bit more because we're going to be doing a little bit more resin. We'll dip that one more time. Okay. If we need to add more, we can always add more later too. So we'll set that off to the side for now. Okay. There's our clear with our shimmer. I'm going to move this over here as well and put it kind of in between so that I can remember that I need the same one for both. We've got our pink, we've got our blue. All right, let's add our pink to our little cup here. I always add the powdered pigments before I pour the resin, so I don't have to try and, ooh, that's so bright. So I don't have to try and deal with the containers and stuff while my hands are all gross. While they're all covered in, as I put it so nicely before, resin slime. There we go. I don't think, ooh, that is so bright. I'll put a bit in there. I don't think I'll need too much, but I don't remember quite how pigmented this is. I'll add a little tiny bit more. If it gets a little over pigmented, that's fine. It'll just kind of sink to the bottom, and that's kind of what I want anyway. So do that, set that off to the side. I have my colors here just as reference. Let's move those. I don't need those anymore. Put those back with my other reference colors. This one's going to be like a light blue, and I have my white and my blue over here for that. Okay, I've got all of our colors set up for that. Oh, actually, no, we don't. I want a little bit of that shimmer to be in here as well. That's right. I was forgetting something. To be fair, it always feels like I'm forgetting something, but I'm going to actually add maybe a little bit more to that one. Because, like I said, I want it to kind of look like everything's stemming from one location. All right, and there's that. This one, we have our eyeballs here. Let me just make sure that all of these fit well in here. Yeah, these will fit. I might need to do some sanding on the dice because this one's maybe a little bit big, which is fine. It's just pushing into the numbers a bit, so you can it's kind of messing with the shape a little bit, but I can sand the die afterwards and it'll be okay. Kind of put these at maybe different angles. Oh, this one's a good size. This one's a better size. This one's a little bit smaller. And this one's good. Alright. These are ones that I'll probably, I like that. That's fun. I'll probably put these in after I put a little bit of the resin in, because I want to make sure that I get some of that gold foil underneath the eyes as well. If I just pour it on top, it'll probably all get caught. So we'll add those after I've added a little bit of the resin. Alright, this has some light green resin still in it. Let's pull that out. Alright, so this is going to have kind of a nice bright-ish green, not too dark, but nice and bright. And then some gold foil. So let's add the gold foil now before we actually pour. Okay. And I don't think we'll need too much, because I don't want to make it so you can't see the eye, and the eyes are going to displace quite a bit of resin anyways. So I want enough that it looks intentional, but I don't want so much that it gets in the way. Alright, I think that's probably going to be enough, because I think it's probably going to be enough. Yeah. I'll probably do 20 milliliters of that. Let me think about this. I'm gonna do probably 20 milliliters, which is kind of about how much it usually takes to make a set of the Fate dice. Really, it's more like 17.5 milliliters or something total. But with the displacement and everything, we should have a little bit left over, and that means I'll be able to make a keychain and a bonus die for this one, which is what I want to do since this is a commission as well. But let's add a little bit more gold. We can always add more later too if we need to. It's easier to add a little bit than just take a little bit away, so I'll cool it on that and we can add more later. Alright, there's that. We've got our green pigment. I'm going to use Mojito from Ranger Inks. Alright, this one I need 3 different mixing cups. This is what I meant about not being prepared. I don't have my, actually this yellow one I want to use for the D6. Now I think about it, because this is the yellow that I want the kind of lighter opaque yellow for D6, so that's going to go over there actually. This one could probably be red though. It looks like it had orange in it, but that's fine. Oh, I'm slowly, there's like things I'm slowly doing with my shop, but man, it's going so like slowly enough that it's just like, oh man, I want to do everything now. I'm like starting to make some molds for keycaps, but I don't have those done yet. I've like just started. And let's see, I'm slowly making it so that all of my dice sets have D2s with them, but it's not going to be any of the ones that come out this Friday or the next restock, because I have kind of like a backlog a little bit. So it's just like, oh man, I have all of these things, but they're just not happening yet. I don't know how people who do like long-term projects, and I mean like if you write like a music album or you work on like a TV show, something like that, where you've been working on it for however long, and you can't tell anybody about it. Oh man, I don't know how people do that, because I just want to talk about like everything that I'm currently working on before I forget. I'd be so bad for non-disclosure agreements. I mean, I wouldn't, but at the same time, I'd just be like, I want to talk about the things that I'm working on. Even though it's probably not the best practice either. Like that's the thing with like movie releases and stuff. Like there's a certain point where it's the smart time to like start doing previews and stuff for it. And that's just because if you do it too close to when the thing's going to happen, then people don't have time to prepare for it. But if you do it too far away from when the thing's going to happen, people will just kind of forget about it. Yeah, I do make all of my own molds. That was I didn't actually post. I posted a photo in the Discord and on Facebook, but I didn't do it anywhere else. I just got done going through my gallon buckets of silicone mold making material. I just ordered more. I have a box over here that's another thing of mold making material. Well, I have all of these ones that are down here. You can see, and then I have those, and then I have a couple that are like off to the side that I'm working on. Yeah, to be fair, I'm not that's not the fun part for me. Making the molds isn't. It's more of like a necessity type thing. It's like if I want to have my own like custom dice and custom molds and everything, I gotta know how to make my own molds. So it's one of those things. Although I feel like it's one of those like surprise skills that got picked up with dice making. Because whenever you're like working on something, I feel like there's the stuff that you expect to learn, and then there's the stuff that you don't expect to learn. And mold making was one of those things where I hadn't really thought about it when I first was like, I'm gonna make dice. But now it's just one of those things that I know how to do. But I am I'm more excited to have the molds than I am to make them. But I am excited to have keycap molds. I have kind of a, I think it's going to be kind of a convoluted process to a certain extent for me to make the molds that I want, though. Oh, thanks. Because I've made the base mold of just an escape key. So I have just a random escape key. And when I made the base part for that, you can see the words escape a little bit, but my plan for this is I'm going to use this mold, and I'm going to make a blank key, and then I'm going to sand and polish that until it is nice and flat and smooth and how I want it, and then I'll make a mold of that. So I have a mold for nice, smooth, polished dice. Here. That's the sort of plan anyways, but it's just like there's so many steps and I just want to have the molds. I don't want to wait. I'm very impatient if you couldn't tell. That's, to be fair, the kind of like the logistics stuff is always the stuff that holds me back from doing, like, there's so many things that I want to do, but it's just the like logistics of it. Like, it's all the stuff that I don't know, or I know that I don't know, I guess. All the stuff that I know that I don't know, and the stuff that I don't know that I don't know, that catches me, like, you know, it's like, I should really actually make YouTube videos. Like, I've been talking about it for a while now. It's a flower. It's kind of a, just kind of a stylized flower. I don't know where these, and also tea stains galore. I don't even know where those are from. I think my mom gave those to me when I moved out, which was very nice of her. But yeah, there's just like a lot of like logistical things with anything. To be fair, there's a lot of logistics stuff with making and selling things too. There's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that goes on that just, it's like, oh, that's something I need to figure out how to do, like quarterly taxes. Oh man, quarterly taxes. Finally got them figured out, I think. So that's good. I don't. Taxes are just a pain, though. Nothing makes me want to beat my head against a wall more than trying to figure out taxes. And I have to do it 4 times a year as a sole proprietorship. Anyways, yeah. There's a lot of like logistical stuff like that that's just like, oh man, there's so many little things that I have to figure out how to do. But yeah, I'd love to make like YouTube videos, but figuring out like how to film and how to like move all the files around and what equipment I would want and editing and all that sort of stuff is just like, filming the things is the easy part. It's all of the like extra stuff to make it actually good. That's the hard part. Alright, there's another one for that. We'll add our pigment to that in a moment. Need one for the blue. That one's going to be like a light blue. I might not need a light blue one because I think maybe I could pour this one first and then I could use, I think I'm gonna pour that one first though. Okay, I need another thing for the light blue. There's one for the light blue. And I want white as well. Do I have white already? Nope. Let's just grab a clean one for white so I don't end up with any other little colory bits in there. What's this one? D6 yellow and red. Should I do the clear red for that with the opaque yellow? That might be kind of cool. Having kind of that mix. But I worry that's gonna end up too orange if I do it that way. I think maybe I want opaque red, so we're gonna, actually, you know, I'm just thinking now, because I was gonna use like this red and this yellow, but opaque. And I was gonna use this blue, but opaque for this one. So maybe I don't need these. I'm just gonna do this one first and then use those mixing cups. Yeah, I think that'll work actually. I was gonna hold off until the resin was a little bit thicker for this one, but I think we'll be okay as long as I kind of layer things gently. I just don't want the colors to mix too much, because then we'll end up with like brown. D6, that's gonna be yellow and red. D4, I want like a more opaque version of this, and then some of the clear. We'll probably use some of this as well. We'll move these over here. These are also going to use a little bit of this clear. But I also want kind of a layer, I think, of a more opaque, kind of snowy resin. So let's see here. Well, it's another one that's, let's grab another mixing cup. Okay, we'll do that. That's going to be with the D4s, and then this one's going to be all of the leftovers. Okay, I think that's everything. We just need to add things to our containers now. Yes, okay. Oh, I need another container for the blue. Okay, alright, there's a container for the blue. Alright, yeah. This is going to be part of the gold dye. And this one I want to be nice and opaque. But I'm not going to be doing a ton of resin. It's not going to take a ton of resin, so I don't think, I might not even need that much, but that's okay. This one, let's add a little bit of this. Same with music. I'd love to like record some music or something. Figure out how to do that, but it's just the logistics. It's like, I don't know anything about audio editing or, you know, what's good for recording. Oh, I wanted to do this too, and that one I want clear and black. Black. That's what I want. We'll just do a little tiny bit of black in here. That works out. And I want this black. I want nice opaque black. Cool. Yes. I'm just making sure I have everything. It always feels like I'm forgetting something. Even if I'm not forgetting something, it feels like I'm forgetting something. But, yeah. And then every once in a while I do forget something. It's just like, darn it. Okay, I'm going to add a bit more of that. I think also I'll add a little bit of the, like, this is like a slightly finer. This one's a little bit more powdery as opposed to glittery. So it's more of like a shimmer than a glitter, I guess. But it's also going to add like a little bit of opacity. Make it a little bit more opaque. Hopefully, that's the idea anyways. The green, add our phthalo blue. I think that's how I pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced other ways and I'm just like, is that right? It just makes the most sense to me as phthalo, but I could be wrong. Pathalio. And it's a PTH at the beginning, like pterodactyl. No, pterodactyl doesn't have a TH, does it? It just has a T. That's okay. This one's going to be a nice, solid phthalo blue. Let's make sure we have enough pigment there so that it's nice and opaque. Again, we can add more if we need to. It's just easier if we don't have to. There's our phthalo blue. That one's going to have white and light blue. And that's going to have the red and the yellow. Just going to have to mix. Is that everything? I think that might be everything. I think I've got everything set up. Grab this one here. Okay, I think we're ready to pour some resin. Cool. Let me grab my mixing cup out here. Alright, grab my mixing cup. Let me grab my safety equipment, namely gloves and a respirator. I'm going to be a little bit muffled from here on out, just a heads up. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to sound a bit like Darth Vader, so I'm going to be, this is how it's going to be for the rest of the stream. I will try to speak as clearly as possible though. We'll get our gloves on and we'll get this poured. Yeah. I had someone send me a link to some like silicone gloves, and as soon as I go through this box, or I get close to going through this box of disposable gloves, I'm going to go that route. Or maybe I'll go that route. I'll have to look and see, but because that would be so nice. I go through so many pairs of gloves. Alright. Let me grab resin. So I'm going to be going a little bit quiet for a moment here as I try to pour this. I can't talk and measure at the same time. So feel free to, you know, just hang out for a moment, chat amongst yourselves. And I'm going to get this so all measured out. So I want it to be accurate. If I don't have it, you know, accurate, it's not going to set properly. So. Ooh, I'm going to do 50 milliliters of each. Alright. 50 milliliters of part A. Yep, 50 milliliters of the resin itself. And then we're going to have 50 milliliters of the hardener. Alright, so I'm just going to be mixing a whole bunch here. I'm going to make sure this gets mixed completely, so it'll be a minute. So how are you all? That is a serious question too. How's everybody doing? I've been doing pretty good. I didn't stream, I think it was last Saturday, because I was helping my grandparents move. So I feel a little bit behind on things because I was gone for a couple of days. It means I didn't have things polishing, I wasn't making anything. But I do have a shop restock coming up on Friday, and I have all the photos. I think I'm going to go work on making all the listings today, because I have stuff, whoops. this is my problem with these stir sticks. I like these stir sticks because they're resin and reusable, but they're just a little bit too big for my mixing cup. So I end up with resin everywhere. No! But I have plans for the 4th of July. So I'm trying to get all of my listings set up a little bit early. So I don't have to try and do it when I have family stuff, again, coming up around the 4th of July. It really does take like a surprising amount of time to make all of the listings. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's another thing you wouldn't really think about if you weren't doing it, but like, you know, I have, we'll say 20 listings or something that I'm adding to the shop, and you know, I have to take photos, I have to figure out which photos I'm using, I gotta type in all the information. It just takes a lot of time. I wish there was a way to kind of like copy listings. Maybe there is. I'll have to look. See if there's a way to like copy things and then just edit. Because like some of the information stays the same throughout. Like I could use the same tags. Because there's certainly, you tag things on Etsy. Oops. This is what I'm saying. Okay, we're moving back to a popsicle stick. I like the silicone one, but it's just too big. Too big for my little mixing cup. Get all the resin off of here. Okay. Try this again. Alright. This is a little bit smaller, so it's not displacing quite as much. So the resin's not quite as high, so it's not going to overflow nearly as much, hopefully. I do like the length on that other one, though. That is nice. It makes it a little bit easier to hold. I would say that it would make it easier to hold and not get as messy, but obviously I got messy, so. Oh well. Anyways, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Oh, the purple cyberspace dice. I could. I have to go back and look at those and remember which colors I used, but I do love. So that's a dirty pour technique. I do love doing dirty pours, so I might. I should make more. It's one of those things where I'm starting to kind of slowly figure out which designs I really like of what I've made, and then making some more of them, and also seeing which designs other people like. So, yeah. Space themed dice are your weakness. Fair. That was actually some of the first dice that I ever put up in my shop. Was some Galaxy dice. And they're one of the few types of dice that I try to keep stocked fairly regularly. You know, most of the dice that I make are kind of one-offs, or you know, I'll make a couple of them every once in a while, like the pond dice. I've made those a couple of times. Have a set in the tumbler right now polishing where they have little lily pads on them and stuff, but like the Galaxy dice that I've made, I try to keep stocked. I might go back to the drawing board a little bit with my Galaxy dice, because my problem with them is that they are harder to polish than my other dice. And that's because the holographic glitter I use, I dust into the mold, and so it's on the outside of the die. And so if I throw them into my tumbler for polishing, it actually wears off the holographicness, and it's just silver. Now that means that they don't get as polished as my other dice. So I really want to try and figure out maybe a way to, you know, to add the glitter to the resin itself. Which, you know, you can do. The thing is that it likes to try and sink. So I'd want to pour the resin when it's a little bit later in the process.
And if I want to do 3 sets of dice, I wouldn't necessarily have enough time. Although, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that might work out fine. If I just add it to the black, and do all the black, that'll be in the bottom, and then by the time I get to the last, I might, like I said, I might want to rethink how I'm doing the galaxy dice a bit. Maybe that's something I'll work on. I have a few sets that I need sanded right now. Oh, why is my phone buzzing? Who's texting me? I'm not going to check because I am sticky. Alright, still mixing this. But no, space-themed dice are kind of like my weakness too. I love seeing everybody's different like rendition of space dice too, because they're like all different, but like all like the dark colors with like usually like some other kind of rich colors in there. It's like, ooh, yes, like that. But no, if there's an interest, I'll make more cyberspace dice. That's one of those designs where I hadn't really thought about it, but it's like, oh, I do like making that kind of dice. Yeah, I should do some more Dirty Pour sets. They're some of my favorite. I have a couple that I'm sanding right now of those as well. Not the purple cyberspace ones, but the some Dirty Pour ones that are kind of rainbowy. I think this is getting close. Let's scrape the sides here, make sure we've got everything off. Alright. Just want to make sure there's no like streaks or anything in here. It's a little bit harder because I'm towards the bottom of my resin containers. I have some new resin as well, but towards the bottom of my resin containers, and I've found that once I get towards the bottom, the resin looks cloudy. It looks clear once it's cured, but when I'm mixing it, it looks cloudy. Sometimes it's towards the bottom too. I don't know. I guess maybe there's some sort of particulates or something in it, but like I said, it looks clear once it cures, so that's the important part. Get this little hair out of here. Okay, come on. Alright, there we go. That's that out. I want to make sure that there's no like streaks or anything, because that's there's. Oh, hi Omar, how you doing? You've made it in time to see your dice being made. Actually that's something that I was thinking about earlier. It was like, did you want photos of how they turn out, or did you want it to be like a surprise? To be fair, if these don't turn out how I want them to turn out, then I'll remake them, but because like I have ideas, but we'll see. I'm doing a little bit of an experiment. Alright, I'm doing a little bit of an experiment with your dice, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, that's looking nice and mixed, I think. Like I said, it's a little bit hard to tell when I get towards the bottom. We've been mixing for a while, so I think we're probably good. Alright. So let's start with our fate dice here. Just because I know how much resin I want. We'll do the set that's not the commission last, just in case we don't have enough resin. Alright, there's that. Okay. So I'm trying to think. I probably want 5, 7, this one. Yeah, you'll be happy to know though that I listened to that song on repeat last night while figuring out what exactly I wanted to do. I don't need very much of this one. Maybe to 5. This one doesn't take very much either, maybe 5. There we go. And this one I need a little bit more because I'm using this for a couple of different things. Let me think here. That's going with that. I ended up with more in there than I was planning to. That's fine. Okay, 7.5, 7.5. Get this, so that's 15. So we probably want almost 20, I think, of this one. And then the rest of this is going to get divided up into these various little things over here. So let's get everything else going first. Like I said, let's do these fate dice first. This is going to be green with some gold foil in it. And I don't want... I want enough gold foil, like I said, that it looks intentional, but I don't want so much that it covers up these eyes that I made. I'm still really proud of these eyes that I made. I'm just going to show those off any chance I get. Still really proud of those. I feel like they turned out really good. Alright. Maybe a little bit more gold foil. Break up some of this into some smaller pieces. Yeah, I think a little bit more gold foil. Just a little bit. Oh, look, perfect. There's a piece right on top that wants to join. Maybe, if it'll get off of my... Come on, get off. There we go. Let's see here. What looks really good? What looks really good? Oh, the eyes. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, that should be plenty of gold foil, I think. Alright, let's mix that in, get that kind of broken up into some smaller pieces. And hopefully that's green enough. I'm hoping it's green enough. So I wanted it, you know, they asked for green resin. I didn't actually find out, like, how dark, I might want it a little bit darker. I think that it's going to have, like, kind of a white background because the eyes are going to be in there. So it can be a little bit darker, but let's maybe add a little bit of this green, but just a little tiny bit. I don't want too much of this one. That's probably way too much. Oh well. Probably just added way too much green, but that's okay. Oh, no, actually, I think that might be good. Yeah, I want it to be recognizable as being green, but I don't want it to be too much. Alright, let's add some green resin, some gold flakes in here. And like I said, I'm going to add some of the resin with the gold flakes first because I want to be able to get some gold flakes underneath the eyes. And it would have some trouble getting around them, I think, if I didn't put the resin in with the gold flakes first. Let's get a couple more larger flakes and a couple of these. And it'll be nice to have some of the larger flakes on the bottom, maybe too. I'm going to have the eyes probably face up here. And like I said, a couple of these are maybe a little bit large, but I will be able to sand these so that they're good. Okay, and there's one eyeball in. Oh, yeah, that one's a good size. Kind of get these. I have them all kind of facing upwards, but I'm trying to make it so it's not super even. There we go. And then we'll fill that up, and I think these will be all set. I think this will work out well. Yeah. Here, I'll show this too once I get the resin poured in. You can see how green they ended up with the gold foil and everything. I'm gonna pull out my little tray here as well. Alright. Let's spritz those down. There's quite a few bubbles on the top. I got quite a few bubbles in there when I was mixing, but those are going to go away with the pressure pot. There we go. There's the eyes looking out at you. The gold irises. I grab here's my tray that I use to put everything into the pressure pot. It's just a lid from something that ended up being like the exact right size. Let's add a little bit of this to the lids. Oh, yeah, there's still some air coming up too. And actually, I wanted to do, yeah! I like the kind of spooky stuff, so it was right up my alley. I was just like, yeah, I'll make eyeballs, that sounds fun. Alright, here's a bonus die, which is just going to be, you know, green with some gold foil. Get that over here as well. And there is, oh, come on. Get the random cat hair out of there. That'd probably be good. Man, everything, it just wants to be a mess today. Alright, and then we'll put our little bit on the lid here. It's not as important, I think, for this one to have a little bit on the lid, but I do it anyways, just so there's a little bit of extra. And actually, I'm going to set this off to the side. We might need that because there's a bunch of air bubbles coming up from underneath the eyes. That's the thing with the inclusions. You know, there's big air bubbles there. So we might need to add a little bit more resin. So let's spritz that down. Hopefully let things settle a bit. Alright, moving on to the hot pink and light blue ones. I wonder if that sounds familiar. Alright. So we're gonna try the idea here. It's just rubbing alcohol, and the idea is that it breaks the surface tension on the resin and doesn't inhibit like the curing or anything, so that the bubbles can pop easier. A lot of people will use like an open flame or some sort of heat gun or something to pop all the bubbles on the surface of their dice. But one, I don't really have that, and two, like using an open flame can potentially harm the molds, whereas rubbing alcohol can't. I'm not too worried about there being a bunch of bubbles or anything though, so it works well enough for my purposes. Alright, let's get all this pink mixed in. So we're going to go and make sure that this isn't clumpy or anything. I just want nice, solid, hot pink. Yeah, make sure all of everything gets mixed in. There's a nice bright pink. It almost doesn't show up right. Almost doesn't show up right on camera. Oh, what does that mean? Oh well. Sorry, I got some sort of, I was like, what is this? I got an achievement of some sort on Twitch, but I'll have to go look up what it means later. Alright, do that and then kind of like a light blue. So let's do white and then a little bit of the blue. I don't think I need too much, because I want this to be kind of light. We'll see how this looks. Maybe not that light. I'm going to add a full drop of blue. That's a thing with Twitch. There's like achievements you can unlock. Ooh, I want it paler than that though. I'm going to pull up the album art. I might want this blue, a little bit of this blue too. Okay, we're going to add that, and we're going to add a drop of this white, because this one's actually a little bit stronger. Oh, if I can get the lid off, there we go. Okay, I guess I'm adding 2 drops of that, that's fine. See if we can get this more of the blue that I want. Yeah, that's a little bit better, I think. Not quite. That's pretty close. It's maybe not quite as bright as I was going for, but that's hard to do with the lighter blue, I feel like. Purple? What? What purple? What's purple? Oh yes, my purple. Yeah, I'm adding a little bit of purple. To be fair, I'm almost done with this container of white. That's the thing though, like, oh man, the alcohol inks just get everywhere. Those, yeah. I think those are pretty good. Wish this one was a little bit brighter though. I'm experimenting to get my blue just right. We'll see. Oh, actually, yeah. There we go. That's the blue I want. That's much better. That's much better. That's just kind of brighter. Cool. We've got our blue. We've got our hot pink. We'll end up with some probably. Maybe I might end up doing some white in there. We'll see. So we're gonna mix up our clear with a little bit of shimmer to it. I'll grab a stir stick. I don't think Jen usually can't make it on Saturdays now. I think she usually works around this time. So that's just, yeah. That's the thing with changing the time, is it's like some people can now make it, but now others can't. It's kind of, yeah, boo. Yeah. Let's see here. Do I want a little bit more shimmer than this? Just a second. I have just a little tiny bit of like shimmery pigment in here. Oh yeah, that's a good shimmer. There's a good amount of shimmer. Okay, so let's see here. Just a little tiny bit of shimmer. You weren't originally going to be able to make it. Were you working or something? So, like, that's the thing. It's like streaming at noon makes it so a lot of like European folks can come hang out for a little bit. But rain happened and things got canceled. That makes sense. Man, I like the rain. That's just, sorry, I'd love it if it rained. We get some like summer thunder showers sometimes, but it's just been hot. It's just been hot recently. I'm gonna fill these up to probably about halfway. D4, maybe not. See how this goes with the D4. Yeah, just I'm trying to figure out how much of this. I fill just kind of the tip there. Fill these up. Fill the D20 up a little bit more. And D12. I just want to make sure that I have room for all the color and everything. I'm thinking now though that there's something else that I want to add. I am streaming at the moment. Just so you know. Okay. Okay. And then I wanted to add a little bit, let's see. Your family up north was saying that it's 107 soon. Can't ever remember it being that hot when you lived up that way. I mean, it depends on where you lived in Washington. Because, like, Eastern Washington. Yeah, that was my brother. Not sure, what's up, but wanted to give him a heads up. So he didn't walk in here and be like, oh, I'm on camera now. Oh, Seattle area. Yeah, it doesn't get up to that in Seattle area usually. To be fair, it felt hot in Seattle when it got up to like the high 80s. Like Eastern Washington, like it gets up to 110 every year type thing, but Seattle area, that would not be good because a lot of places don't have air conditioning in Seattle. That would not be fun. Oof, sorry. Now, yeah, having lived in both areas, both Eastern Washington and the Seattle area, oof. Alright. I think I'm going to need a little bit more of this, actually. Wasn't sure if... I was kind of thinking it might be too much, but I think this is actually going to be just about right. Oh, and I think it's sinking a little bit, which is okay, actually. Alright, so let's see here. Let's see if I can get any of the glitters out to put into the D2. I want the D2 to match. That's fine. I'm just going to grab a couple of these manually then. Alright, these are just little kind of white confetti pieces because I wanted something geometric. That was the goal here, something geometric. Alright, let's go. There we go. And a little bit of this, which is the iridescent stuff. Alright, there we go. Get that all in there. And then we're going to add our pink and our blue. Woo! My phone just buzzed again and it scared me. I wonder who is texting me. There's only like 2 text chains that I know I have. Okay, I don't actually need that open anymore. Oops, that's not one. There we go. Okay. I might end up adding... I'm wondering, I might end up adding some white as well. We'll see here. But we'll add our pink and our blue first and see how that looks. Well, I guess we won't see how it looks, but we'll try adding our pink and our blue first. And then I might add a little bit of white. Just a little tiny bit. Alright, let me do that. Make sure I grab the correct one since I can't tell them apart. Yeah, that's the thing that I saw was that there's certain areas that are getting like really hot this year that aren't used to getting hot this year. And it was kind of like, you know, I'm used to it getting up to 110 where I live, but like there were some people that were just like, oh, you'll be fine. They're both purple. Yeah, exactly. Everything's purple. There were some people just like, oh, you'll be fine. It gets up to that heat where I live, and I'm like, yeah, but you have the infrastructure for it. Like, I know that I have air conditioning, and we're built for having that sort of weather here because we're prepared for it. Like, there's a lot of places that aren't prepared for it at all. Huh, you can see. Add some pink. And kind of adding, kind of like a fake Petri effect. It's kind of the idea here. There's going to be kind of blobs coming up from the bottom. Hopefully, that's the idea here. We'll see how they turn out. Like I said, I'm doing kind of a little bit of an experiment, and if they don't turn out how I want them to turn out, I'll just make another set. Yeah, come on. Try to get all the resin in my pipette. And I'm doing kind of a mix of the hot pink, and then we'll have the light blue in there as well. But I gotta, come on. And then it's gonna be a little bit different, I think, on the D2 here, since it's not quite as deep, but we'll kind of add some of that. Let's add some more pink. Just trying to get what's left in the pipette out. Alright. Ooh, my hand just cramped from doing that. So we'll do it again. Okay. And if there's any more pink, like there's a little bit of pink left, we'll probably just end up like scooping that in if we need to. Let's do the blue. Alright. See how that turns out. This has a slightly larger opening to it, so it's kind of more globby almost. Okay. Yeah, just a second. I think the colors are good though. Alright, there's that. Oops. Alright. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how these turn out. I really like hot pink and blue together. I have a couple of sets of dice. It's Petit Monde by Video Club. It's not name brand, and the chat is the one that introduced it to me. I'm not, you know, super familiar with the artist or anything. Sorry. All right. So I'm getting focused here, trying to get my color in the right spot. All right. Come on. Fuck. I think we might end up with just kind of the right amount of resin. Alright. Let's make sure that we have resin in all of these. Although I did say I think I'll add a little bit of white. Let's do that actually. Let's add a little bit of the white. I'm gonna grab a new pipette as well because I don't want a ton of white. I just want a little bit of white. But yeah, if you type in Video Club album art on Google, it'll pull up the album art. I have it open in another tab. Alright, just a little bit of white, not a lot. Although for some reason I have music by Stromae stuck in my head now that I'm thinking about it. But I guess that's also French, so it's fine. As long as it's French. That's probably how that ended up. I always have some sort of song stuck in my head. That was one of my probably defining characteristics as a youth. Stromae's good too. Yeah. Man, when did it's been a while. Like, that might end up too purple. We'll see. What was I saying? Oh, I always have some sort of song stuck in my head. Yeah, I was always that kid that was singing everywhere I went. And now I'm that adult that's singing everywhere I go, but it's more in my head now. I don't know why I did that. I want more of this. Yeah, These might be mixing a bit too much. We'll see. I'm worried that it's going to end up a little bit too purple. But like I said, we'll see. I might not have made enough white. Although I don't really want a lot of white, so that's fine. Alright. I think a little bit of mix here will be okay. I'm kind of trying to keep the blue and the pink a little bit separate, but I think a little bit of mix will be fine. Alright. Oops. Yeah, let's add a little bit more white. Alright. Add some white to the lids here. Alright. Cool. Get that out of the way. My blue is falling over. Stop that. Okay. Got a little bit of blue left over. Let's make sure that we have enough resin in all of these, and then we'll put the lids on. Don't have enough on the D2, that's for sure. Alright. I'm getting distracted by French music and putting colors places. Let's finish getting this onto all the lids. Oh, so what is everybody up to? Actually, instead of asking that, what song is stuck in your head at the moment? Not necessarily literally stuck in your head right this second, but is there a song that you've been listening to a lot recently, or just your current favorite song? What's my current favorite song? I don't know what my current favorite song is. Man, do I have a current favorite song? To be fair, I used to it's still a good song. For a long time there, I'd say that my favorite song was "Separate Ways" by Journey, just because it's just a fun song. That's fun. I remember in high school, there was I think it was a college pep band that came and played for our band class, and they played a version of Separate Ways, and it was just kind of interesting because I listened to a lot of rock music, like classic rock, and I was sitting with two other trombonists, and one of them listened to a lot of metal music, and the other listened to a lot of pop music, and we were all just like, I love this song! Just like, oh, I guess this kind of works with a lot of different genres, doesn't it? Blue Hour by TXT. Ooh, I haven't actually heard either of those. I'll have to look them up after the stream. Stars a really good album. Oh, okay. Yeah, I am just not up to date with anything modern, I guess. I'll have to go look that up. I haven't listened to as much music recently, I suppose. Because to be fair, I used to listen to the radio all the time because I was driving to and from work. But now that I'm at home, I listen to more YouTube videos than I do music. Let's see here. I think these are all good. We'll see how these turn out. I'm excited. We'll get these out of the way. What kind of music is that? Is there a certain genre that is? I've already exposed myself as liking classic rock, but I mean that's partially because it's what I grew up with. You know, I grew up with the CDs from my parents' CD rack, so I grew up on like Queen. Oh, Blue Hour's K-pop. Oh, okay. Pop. Okay, cool. Sour is pop punk. Oh, I do like pop punk music. So, yeah, you might have me hooked there. But no, I grew up on a lot of like classic rock. Let's see here. Okay, let's get these going. I don't need a lot of resin. This is a D12, so it's going to be a little bit more, but really the individual dice don't take a lot of resin. We are going to use some of this in some other dice down the line here, though. We can add more resin if we need to. Alright, so we're going to do our red and our yellow. Bloop. And our yellow. Bloop. Bloop. I think we're going to need 2 drops of the yellow and a drop of the blue. Okay, the song that I've actually had stuck in my head a whole bunch recently is I Don't Know What We're Talking About by Ninja Sex Party. That one's just been stuck in my head a lot recently. No, I don't want blue in here. But that's just like, because it's relatable. Alright, here's yellow. Nice bright yellow. But it changes. I had Africa by Toto stuck in my head fairly recently. And I had friends over for dinner. I just kept humming it. And my one friend was like, no, stop it. Because then she was going to get Africa by Toto stuck in her head too. She was not about that. Alright, there's our nice bright primary colors. So we're going to add those to our D12 here because we're going for kind of a stained glass look. And I want to be kind of gentle with them. Honestly, probably pipettes would be the way to go here, but I don't really want to. We're just going to kind of try and pour this in the side here. Yeah, I probably should have used pipettes. That's okay though. I think we can make this work. We can make this work. Maybe I'll do some more yellow. I'll do yellow at the top. Trying to be gentle, but it's harder to be gentle when pouring. Alright, there we go. Just put some yellow on the lid as well. Set this off to the side to sit for a bit. Let all the bubbles rise to the surface. I'm going to spritz everything down again though. Just get everything popped that we possibly can. Alright, we're going to be using these colors for some other things. So this is going to get used for the D6. So that's that. Let's add a little bit of maybe the clear blue here. Add a little bit of our different colors to our D2 because I want to kind of have a mix. And that's kind of the goal here, is to end up with kind of all the colors in here. So we'll see how that goes. Let's get that out of the way. I don't want, okay. I have it kind of at an angle here, so I don't want all of the colors to slide, but I'm trying to make it so that it doesn't pour out either. Okay, let's do the D20 here. The D20 is just going to have kind of the nice shimmery clear with a nice clear with some shimmer. There we go. Those are words. But let's put this in here and try to get, oh, it fell in. Oh, good. We're going to try and get any air bubbles out that we can. Trying to coat this in resin and try and make sure that there's no like big pockets where air is getting trapped. It's not quite enough resin in here to do it well, honestly, but we can try. Okay. Might be okay. I think we'll probably get some air that rises to the surface as this is curing, but okay, let's see if I can get this in here without breaking everything. Yeah, that's fine. The petal came off, but that's fine. That adds to the aesthetic. Alright. Pour all of our resin in here as well. Oh dear. Oh, all right. I'm getting quiet for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see what's going on with me. Like I said, I was out for a couple of days helping my grandparents move, so I'm still getting caught up with stuff. The next shop update's not going to be a very big one, to be honest. I am going to have phone grips for the first time, that's kind of exciting. Okay, I think we're going to try and use the rest of this in here, and we'll use some clear in the other thing. That is fine. Might end up putting a little bit of clear in here, and that's okay too. Because this is just clear, but with a little tiny bit of shimmer. And so if we put a little bit of clear in, it's really not going to be noticeable. Actually, I'll put a little bit of this on the lid, so that if we do we're going to end up putting a little bit of clear on here, but then we'll have shimmer all the way. It won't even be noticeable. It won't be noticeable at all. Do that. Alright, there we go. There's our D20. We definitely want to let this one sit for a minute and let all of the air bubbles work their way out of that, the rose. Alright, speaking of roses, I'm going to do our D4. For that, I'm just going to do kind of a sort of opaque-ish, snowy resin. So, just kind of, it's not super opaque, but kind of shimmery. We're going to do kind of a layer of that in the bottom of the D4. So we're going to try and rest the rose petal on top. So we're going to put this in and let this sit, because we do actually want it to be fairly thick. Because we want it to be thick enough that the rose petal, and when we add a little bit more resin and stuff on top, it's not going to displace it completely. So I kind of want like a solid base. That's the words I'm looking for. I want a solid base for the resin to sit on, or for the rose petal to sit on. So let's get that. Alright. Let's add a little bit of this to our D2 over here. think that'll probably be good. I'll let those sit for a minute. I'm going to spritz those with a little bit of the rubbing alcohol. Alright. Cool. Oops. Look at my other. Make sure that I have my rose petals and I don't lose those like I almost just did. I'm probably going to put those in a little bit of clear and then put them on top. Okay, the first D10 we're going to do a couple different gold colors. Alright. Make sure I have enough resin here. Should be okay. That is the thing with doing these sets where everything's different. They do take like more, like they don't really take more time to pour, but they do, because you have to like get all the individual materials and stuff and pour all the individual things of resin. Alright, let's do a dirty pour. I'm just gonna put all this in there. You know what? I want some gold foil in here. I want this thing to be glitzy as all else. Oh dear. Get off. Oh well. There's so much on my finger. So I'm going to add a little bit of that. Oh, come on, get off. Alright. Yeah, because I want this thing to be like shimmering golden. So we're going to do that. I'm going to add a little bit of gold glitter, even though before I was just like, I don't know if it'll match. Because now that I've added the gold foil, we have enough different golds in there that it'll look good. Just a little bit, just a tiny little bit of gold. Let's get that all mixed up in there. Yeah, that adds a little bit of texture. That's nice. If I can break up the gold foil, that is. Cool. Yeah, I like that. That's good. It's a little bit more interesting than just two shimmering colors. Speaking of, let's get all this shimmery in there. A little bit of this shimmer over here. Alright. It's starting to get a little bit thicker. That's what made me think of the fact that it takes a little bit more time, because I can tell that it's cutting into my work time a little bit. It's part of the reason that I started with the other dice too. It's because since these ones are all different, I can, if I need to, like do what's the word I'm looking for? I can do like the rest of the dice later. Hopefully this is enough gold. Alright, hopefully I didn't add too much of the like white gold stuff, the color shift. I think it'll be good though. Hopefully I have enough resin here. Oh yeah, I'll be good. To be fair, some of that glitter might sink to the bottom, we'll see. But if it does, that's fine, because I do have the highest number on the bottom. So we'll just end up with the highest numbers, and then that'll look good. Okay. Alright. Okay, there's those. The last little bit of this gold over to the D2. Yeah, that'll be good in there. Alright, there we go. That's all done. Set this over here to sit for a moment. Let's see here. what do we got next? Let's do this one maybe. This one, because I think I want, this one, I need a little bit of resin here for some white. Just a little bit, I don't even need that much, but I'm gonna take these, oh, let's get all the gold off of the, off of my tweezers here. Come on, get off. These things are always a mess. Okay, I want to dip all of my little pieces of paper in some clear first anyways, just so that they'll actually end up, you know, being visible. So I'm going to add some like opaque white and some opaque blue to this. See how these look, because it looks like the resin's soaking into it, so they might end up a little bit see-through-ish, but well, we'll see. We'll see how it looks. I think I actually want it down. I'm gonna put these in first, I think. I want those up towards the top, sort of. And I want to add, I think, a couple of pieces. But I don't think, maybe 2 is enough. Yeah, I think 2 might be enough. So I've got 2 extra ones that I've now coated in resin that don't need to be coated in resin. Oh well, let me kind of squish some of the resin out of there if I can. Set those off to the side. Maybe those will be useful for something else later. There we go. Who knows? Maybe those will be useful. But this, I wanted to put a little bit of clear in there. I wanted to add some white to this. I'm going to make this a white, and then we're going to make this a light blue. I think I actually want the other white that's a little bit stronger. I'm going to use this white. Oops, that was probably more white than I needed to add. That was a little bit of a mistake. The tip on that's getting a little bit gummed up. So it's kind of hard to squeeze out, so I just squeezed a whole bunch out on accident. Well, that's okay, I made a nice light blue. Wait, did I already make a light blue? Oh, I did for the other thing, but this is a slightly different light blue. Which is good, because this is the perfect light blue for what I want to do here. And then this one is white. So I'm just going to steal this. Yeah, I'm nearing the end of my work time. My phone, I really should turn the ringer off on that when I'm going to stream. Add some white. Add some clear. Some blue. And maybe I will add a little bit of clear, just a little bit. And get that kind of swirled in there. A little bit more white. A little bit more blue. Yeah, I think that's a good blue. So we're just gonna finish up with this blue on the lid. And a little bit of blue in our. Actually, let's put some blue maybe on this corner. Some blue in here. And then some white over here. Okay, got a little bit extra of those, that's fine. I've got our D8 now, ready to start percolating. It's not the right word, but I like using the word percolate for some reason to mean finish setting or finish whatever it's doing. Okay, this one's going to be this one's going to be just a nice, solid phthalo blue. How much resin do I have left? Do I have at least... I wonder if I have enough. I don't know that I'll have enough, but maybe I will. Okay, get a nice blue here. And that's just going to be our D10, so that's nice and easy. And get all that in there. You know, sometimes doing something simple can be very elegant. And I get caught up in trying to make things as complex as possible. I feel like it's just like I can do this and this and this all together and it'll look really cool. Sometimes it's nice to just do, oh, hi Mama. How did dice making go? I'm finishing up some Beauty and the Beast dice for a commission. Yep, that's all. Oops, actually let's steal a little bit of this for our D2 as well. It can also go here, I think. Let's put that over on this side with all the blues. There's a whole bunch of blue over on this side, so we're just going to put all the blues together. Oh, I'll have to show you, because they ended up... I really like how the D8 ended up with the katanas in it. It ended up cool. So I'll have to send some photos. I'll do that on the Discord maybe. Like I said, I usually don't send as many photos of the like commission pieces. I made a blue and purple dice, painted the numbers in gold. Ooh, you're too tired of sanding? That's fair. I get that. Yeah. I did sanding yesterday and I'm just like, I don't really mind sanding, it just like takes time and energy, I guess. It takes a certain amount of me like having to like get into the swing of things. But yes, you might have to remind me if I don't send it, but I will show you how the one piece dice turned out on I can talk in Discord. Okay, I'm gonna add our rose petals here. I'm dipping them first, same reason I did with the rose before, trying to get some of the air bubbles. You know, I don't want any like spots where air is going to stick to it a whole bunch. Do that, and then we're going to add a little bit of clear. Try and gently add a little bit of clear on top. Fill up the rest. Little town is a quiet village. I didn't buy my molds. I made my molds. I was showing off earlier. I've made my molds. Were you here when I was showing how I make my molds? I did that fairly recently, I think. But yeah, I was actually talking about that earlier because I was just like, that was one of those things that I didn't expect to be something I learned in the process of making dice, but I know how to make molds now. Yeah, I got, it's not bad. It's like time consuming to a certain extent, and like you need to have a die to make a mold of, but like it's not super difficult, I don't think. I really should make it like a YouTube, like you should actually, if you want to see a good video on how to make molds, you should look up Ribonator on YouTube. I'm gonna type that name in the mold making video. Oops. There we go. You should look up Ribonator. He does videos on how to make dice. Good videos, good videos. Yeah, I've been thinking that I should make some videos on how to make things, but it's like, oh well, I mean that already exists, so maybe I'll have to go find the stream I did and cut it down to size or something. Okay. Alright, we want to add a little bit of white to this red and to this yellow, because this is going to go in the D6. So I want these to be kind of opaque. Yeah, I am very much getting into my work time. I don't think I'm not gonna do, so these ones just need clear on them. They're the ones that have they have little bats in them and little liquid cores. I'm not gonna do those because my resin is thick enough now that I don't know that it would get down under, like, beside the liquid cores very well, but I think I will do the black ones. So I think that's pretty much all I have left after, oh, this isn't the right thing. I'll get a D6. Ooh, if I can get it out, there we go. Hopefully I have enough resin here. I'm worried I don't, but maybe we'll be okay. I don't know if I like that red or not. We might end up remaking this D6. I feel like that red's not bright enough for me. Also, I don't know that I have enough resin here. Yeah, I don't have enough resin here. We're just going to add a little bit of yellow here. I'm going to do the D6 later. We're just going to do the D6 later. This can still go in the pressure pot, and we'll just add the... I don't like... Yeah, because I just don't like this red very much. But the yellow's good, so I'll come back to the yellow. But I'm going to want to... I think this... Yeah, this... I don't know. Yeah, it's just too muted. I should have added just a little bit more of the red pigment. Yeah, you know exactly what I say when people leave. Alright. Yeah, alright, that's fine. So this is just going to end up being a spare D6 somewhere. That's fine. Perhaps I will ink it in red. The D2, I mean, since the D2 I think will be done. The D2 will be done, but I'll need to make the D6. I'm trying to get like all of the colors in there to a certain extent. But I think, but I won't have the opaque red, but that's okay, I think. I think that'll be okay. Alright. That's fine. Got quite a bit of this glue left, but that's not needed. I'm going to grab a little tiny bit of clear. Yeah, that's very, very thick now. I'm trying to fill in this corner that I've been trying to fill in. I think that's good. Hopefully that doesn't drip too much. It's a little bit off, maybe. I want just enough that it kind of fills in this corner, but I don't want so much that it drips everywhere. Alright, there's that. Cool, that's ready to go. I'm going to use the rest of this and make it black. Ah, that makes sense. You're good. You're good. You're under no obligation to hang out here either. I mean, you can go watch it now if you want. Alright, we're gonna make the rest of this black. I'm gonna use that to do these. Let's just get the black in there, and then I'm gonna stir it up with this. Yeah, nice opaque black. I do. Don't want to miss it. Oh, that's very sweet. I'm glad that you could come hang out for a bit. I would like to see photos of the dice that you made on the Discord, because like your last ones look really nice with the like blue and yeah. Okay. Let's do this. It's not super opaque, but that's okay. Oh, it's a D12. I got made molds for some jumbo dice. This one had a kind of an air bubble in it though that I was filling in. That's why it's on the table here. It's part of a full set. I have the rest of that set off to the side here. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was the first set of jumbo dice that I made. I haven't actually, yeah. That's one of those things where it's just like, man, I wish I had this up in my shop already, but it's also like I don't have it done yet. I have a lot of things where it's just like, man, I need to get those done so that they can be in my shop, but I'd like them to just be done now. I'm very impatient. Very impatient. Yeah, I am at the end of my work time. This is very, very thick. But we'll get this into these molds and then call it. Alright, get a little bit more in our D8 and our D12 and some on the lids. Yeah, it's very, very thick. I've been doing stuff, I guess. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to leave the rest of this resin in here to set or something, because I don't have time. I need to get all the lids on, get these into the pressure pot. So let's start putting some lids on. These early ones, you know, all the bubbles seem to have risen, so we're good. Alright. So, is there like a certain, here's a question for you, Mama. Is there a certain direction that you want to go with making dice? And that might sound weird, but like when I first started making dice, I really wanted to make like little like scenes in them. That was like the direction I wanted to go. And that's obviously not exactly the direction that I've ended up, but I'm wondering if there's like a certain like thing that you've seen that you really want to do with your dice. Because I feel like there's so many cool techniques and stuff out there. Like at this point, like I'm saying like a lot. You know, like dirty pours are some of my favorites to do. But you know, there's so many different things you could do. You could do just solid colors. Oh, lovely. I'm glad that I kept some of this blue because this needs more. Seems that some air got trapped underneath the book pages or something. Alright, it's a good thing that I had extra blue. Is there a certain design of dice that you really want to make? That's really what it comes down to. Like, yeah, that's really all I'm asking. Like, is there certain colors that you really like to use? Or is there something that you haven't tried yet but you want to try? It's probably even harder to understand me with this thing on my face too. What's that? There's I don't know what I want to do next. I think, ooh, make crystal clear dice. Yeah, I'm not good at the polishing. I'm not good at hand polishing. That's why I finally invested in a tumbler. So it vibrates, and I have like hardwood, like little hardwood chips in it with some plastic polish, and I leave them there for a week, and that polishes them right up, because I'm not good at hand polishing either. It is something that's like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to polish things. I feel like that's the hardest part. To be fair, you could do like sea glass dice too, where you just sand all of the sides and you don't polish them, and so then they end up kind of matte. Ugh. Yeah, no, that's fair. It's spendy. Let me get all of these lids on. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of lucky that it was not nearly that expensive from where I am. There's this one. Okay, I think we're okay. Sorry, I'm in a little bit of a rush mode now, because this stuff's starting to set up, and I don't want it to. I'll read that in just a second. Your blue purple dice look so nice before you sanded them. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, some people are just really good at it. Really good at the whole polishing thing. You could ask, did you ever ask on the Discord if anybody has any like polishing tips? Like, I don't, because like I said, I'm not very good at it, but someone over there might. There's a bunch of handmade dice enthusiasts over there. Alright. Let that sit for a moment. There's still some air bubbles coming to the top. Let me spritz this down so we can get any of these air bubbles to... Oh, good. Some of those air bubbles went away. Oh, it's not on French Amazon. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the thing, is like some of the materials are not available other places. That's the, yeah. I was kind of wondering, because it's like I got a tumbler. It wasn't nearly as expensive as you mentioned. I'm like, I know that Mama is like in France, so probably just don't have that option. Just like, yeah. It's unfortunate. If I find out any information about ordering some of that stuff overseas, I'll let you know. I feel like I saw something at some point on some Facebook group or something for dice making, from some folks that were also overseas from where I am. They were somewhere in Europe, but they were having a similar issue where they couldn't find the same thing. They were looking for alternatives. So I'll see if I can find that. If I do, I will send you the information. Yeah, of course. I'm just excited that, you know, someone else is making dice and stuff. That's part of why I like streaming. I've talked about this before, but one of the big reasons I like streaming is it's a bit like meeting up with folks and all working on arts and crafts projects. Like I am a like, you know, I like being social and doing arts and crafts. So it's like, you know, I want to see what everybody else is working on too. That was part of the fun of taking art classes, is just like snooping and seeing what everybody else is making as well. So, you know, I'm like, ooh, what are you working on? I want to see. Put some of these on the bottom. They need a little bit of weight on top of them because they're very, very thick. Oops, I don't have that. Oops, I don't have that. Alright, there we go. But that is something that, so I was never really, I don't know, I never really did much with Discord. Like, I had a Discord and I'd used it a little bit, but that is part of the reason that I've like was into the idea of a Discord, because it's like, yes, I can see what everybody else is working on too. Yes, I have a pressure pot for the bubbles. So I don't want like a lot of bubbles in there, but if there's a few, it'll be fine. They'll get squished down really, really small when I put them under pressure, and so that you can't even see them. That's the idea. That's what I've always heard it called, is a pressure pot. Okay, just a second. I need to stack this under something. A little bit of weight. So let's just see. Let's just add whatever we have left of the blue. I have this D6 here that I'm going to be remaking anyways. I'm just going to add the rest of our colors here. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I don't end up with any air bubbles or anything. Every once in a while I do, like, you know, that's what happened with this D12, because I unmolded it and it had a big like hole in the top. But for the most part I don't. Yeah. Sometimes I do. Alright, let's see here. Just trying to use up the rest of this resin here. This sounds like a fairy tale. No bubbles, no holes, yeah. I should find some photos of my first dice, because like the first dice that I made, I didn't have my own molds. I had like some of the cheap ones from Amazon. I didn't have a pressure pot or anything like that, so they are so bubbly. So I should go find some photos of my first dice. Oh, my stomach's rumbling. I think I'm hungry. Yeah. To be fair, I do every once in a while too. That's how I fix little tiny holes on my dice. Sometimes I'll end up with little bubbles and things, and I'll fill them in with some UV resin. Or if I have a big gap like this, either it'll go in my box of dice that didn't work out, or I'll fill it in with some regular resin, because I found that it's a little bit sturdier, I think. Can't wait to see. Yeah. See how these turn out. Just trying to get everything used up as quickly as possible. Yeah, you can see how thick that black is. I will I may not, actually I probably won't post photos of any of these on the Discord just because they're commissioned ones, but I will, where did I put the lid? There's the lid. I will probably post photos to social media after they're completely done and sent off. I usually don't post photos of commissioned ones until they've reached their destination. I don't know. It just seems polite, I suppose. You know, it seems polite for the people who ordered them to see them first. That's just the way I look at it, I guess. Alright. Good enough. I think this one might end up with some, bubbles. That's okay. This is a big air bubble I can see. Big air bubble. And there's a couple of big air bubbles. Let's get this lid on and then I'll deal with that in a moment. I am probably going to hop off here in just a moment. Oops. Just because I want to go put these into the pressure pot. But I'm glad that you guys could come hang out. I think it's next Saturday I will not be streaming. I have 4th of July plans with my family. It's the 3rd of July, I think, next week. But yeah, I won't be streaming. But we'll be back to our regularly scheduled broadcast after that. I will be streaming Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you should keep an eye out. I plan to have a shop update on Friday, so I'll have some new dice sets in the shop. Not a ton, but I'll have some foam grips and stuff too. So a couple of fun things in there. So thank you guys again for hanging out. And I am going to go. Oh, let's see if I can get that to. Do that. I'm going to go get all of this stuff going in the pressure pot. Oops, I forgot some green. Oh well, that's okay. Oh yeah, yeah. That's a lot more work. Put this here. Okay. Anyways, I gotta head out. So have a good rest of your day. Bye.